everyone. Thanks for joining us today. This is Victoria Rutherford from Adelaide Capital. I have Mark Binns with me, the CEO of BIGG Digital. Hey, Mark, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Excited to be here.
I think that you're our last or maybe our second last webinar of 2021. So good time to give kind of a wrap up of the year and let people know what you're thinking for 2022.
Yeah, we'll give the full update, and we'll talk about what's happened this year and where we're going. So which is it's going to be fun.
Okay, I'll leave it to you to get started. I'll be back at the end to help with the Q&A. Just to the audience members, if you do have a question during the presentation, if you just type it in the Q&A box, we'll try to get to it at the end of the webinar. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mark.
All right, thanks, Victoria. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. It's almost Christmas time. It's been a tremendous year for BIGG Digital Assets and a great year in crypto overall. A lot of exciting developments in the industry and with us in particular. I know that today we have a mix of existing shareholders and investors, and also new investors that are looking at BIGG to decide whether to make an investment in the company. So I'm going to start with giving a typical presentation of what is BIGG and what are we doing as a business. And then near the end, we'll talk a little bit more about sort of year in review and where we're going next year. And then, of course, we'll do a Q&A with Victoria and the Adelaide group. So to jump into it, BIGG Digital Assets, compliance first crypto, still our tagline. We're a crypto company who believes that the future of crypto is going to be a regulated and safe environment. And that's what's going to drive mainstream adoption of crypto and continued mainstream adoption. So our two primary businesses are built to take advantage of that future and profit from that future. And jumping into it, so how is BIGG structured? So BIGG Digital is the public company. Here in Canada, it trades on the CSE under BIGG. In the United States, under the OTCQX market under BBKCF. And that's the public parent company. I'm the CEO, Mark Binns. Lance Morgan is the president. Our CFO is Kim Evans, and we will talk a little bit about the team in a few minutes. But then we have two main operating businesses that make up the company. So a lot of public companies just have one line of business or one operation. We actually have two, which is fantastic. They're different from each other, but both tied obviously into crypto and compliance. But give you, two different revenue streams, two different opportunities for significant growth. The first is Netcoins. That is our crypto brokerage business. So helping customers, both institutional and retail, buy and sell cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, et cetera, including stable coins like USDC. And our other business is Blockchain Intelligence Group, which is a crypto forensics business. It's a software as a service company, or think of it as a software company that sells software globally, primarily to governments and law enforcement agencies, like think about police departments, on how to track crypto through the blockchain and understand the movement of crypto in the blockchain and understand the movement of crypto that could be destined for criminal activity or has been used in criminal activity. So this company is run by Lance. He's actually the co-founder of this business. This product, main products of this company, I should say, are QLUE and BitRank, envisioned back in the 2015, 2016 timeframe, and we've been building them ever since. So exciting global business. And then we also have some minority investments. We are called BIGG Digital Assets. So we've been acquiring digital assets, both our own, crypto on our balance sheet, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, but also in other digital companies and crypto companies that we think are doing great things. WonderFi is the first one, run by Ben Samaru. That is a company launching products in the DeFi space, Canadian-based, backed by Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, hence the name WonderFi. And, we're excited to be involved in that company because we think, they're going to be pioneers in the DeFi space, but we have a great investor network. And it's always good for BIGG Digital Assets to be heard, have our name heard when WonderFi talks about who their backers are and, their following and their investment. The investors can look at BIGG Digital Assets. Second is Zenledger. It's a crypto tax company out of the States run by Patrick Larson. A number of large VCs back that company, and Mark Cuban is one of the main investors. So we have great access to the US institutions that are there and their networks, again, to leverage for BIGG. And we really believe that crypto tax software companies, including specifically Zenledger, are going to be part of the future, again, regulated and compliant ecosystem of crypto. Liquid, run by Sean Anstey. He was a co-founder back in the day of Blockchain Intelligence Group, a tremendous leader in the crypto space. They're doing work in the Lightning Network, so payments and moving crypto quickly and easily around the world. So we want to make sure we're part of that. And then finally, Terra Zero, which is a metaverse company. This is a company that's helping build out the infrastructure and the crypto and NFT space tied to the metaverse, run by Dan Reitzik, again, experienced crypto entrepreneur, run public crypto companies. And as a digital asset company, you can't ignore the fact that the metaverse is going to be a significant marketing opportunity in the future. It's run on an NFT, platform. Essentially, it's run on Ethereum, and there's going to be a large amount of crypto commerce happening in this space. Coins like Mana and Land, and we're going to be involved with those coins, and you're going to be trading them someday on Netcoins as it becomes available. So those are our minority assets. Investments, but we're primarily going to talk about Netcoins and Blockchain Intelligence Group today. But before we get into those specifics, some things about BIGG and why you care about BIGG. First of all, again, two leading regulatory businesses with Netcoins and Blockchain Intelligence Group. We believe as there's a wider adoption of crypto, it's going to drive significant revenue and growth for both of our businesses. The more you see things like PayPal getting involved and credit card companies like Visa and MasterCard getting heavily involved, there's going to be more mainstream adoption. And with that, there'll be more trading, which means more revenue for Netcoins. And unfortunately, there'll probably be more use of crypto and crime, again, which drives the need for our products inside of Blockchain Intelligence Group. We're also in a tremendously good treasury situation. We have more than $70 million on any given day of cash and crypto on our balance sheet. We have no debt. We have 500 Bitcoins that are our own. That's our treasury. That does not include customer coins stored on the platform, which was, recently just shy of $100 million of customer assets in addition to this that are stored on our platform. Our businesses are price agnostic to crypto. So when Bitcoin goes down or Bitcoin goes up, it's good for our treasury, of course, and we like to see it go up. And we firmly believe the future will be up and to the right in terms of pricing. But short-term down days in Bitcoin can be really lucrative for us at Netcoins because it creates a lot of volatility and a lot of trading, which generates revenue for us. And on the Blockchain Intelligence Group side, again, it's a software company. It has no impact, the movements of the prices of the coins that ride on blockchains that we monitor for police departments and government agencies. We have a great team. I'm going to talk to you about the team in a minute. And we have a lot of catalysts coming up. We're going to talk about those a lot in our slide about what's coming in the next year, but everything from international expansion to more products to more marketing for Blockchain Intelligence Group, more investments. This company is, on a roll. We're doing fantastic, and we're going to keep pushing out catalysts for investors, and we're going to keep growing the business. From a share point of view, we have great research coverage. So far, we have 4 different firms that are covering us. There's more to come. A year ago, since it's a bit of the end of the year, we had no coverage. So during the last year and through our success and revenue growth, and I'll show you those numbers in the next couple of slides, we've had 4 different firms pick us up, and I expect a lot more to come in the new year. FRC, PI Financial, Singular Research, and HC Wainwright. The average price target is around 281 Canadian. So that's more than a double from our existing price target in Canada, existing price in Canada. And the beauty of that is these firms have come in, they've looked at the comps, they've looked at the business, they've looked at the revenue growth and trajectory, and they see where the business can go and is going. We believe they're absolutely right. So it shows a great upside in the investment of BIGG Digital Assets. The other thing is that, the company, the management team has over 10% of the holdings, which, equivalent to today's prices is around $30 million worth of stock in the hands of management. So, we're invested, we're believers in both the crypto ecosystem, but of course, heavily in what we're doing at BIGG and how we can be, a central piece of the ever growing fabric of cryptocurrency, both in Canada and internationally. This year we were added to 2 new crypto ETFs, both by Invesco, which is really exciting as top holdings. As you can see there, in a crypto economy ETF and a decentralized economy, weightings of 2 and 4.6% at the top of their list for crypto companies, which was fantastic. And what I love about it is these funds are new. I think they started out about $5 million each. But now the Invesco team will put their sales team on it, and they will grow these funds. They will bring in institutional and retail investors. People have these funds in their RRSPs and TFSAs and all their different products. And as these funds grow, Invesco will have to buy more of our stock to maintain our weighting and our position in these funds. So this year, a year ago, I think we were heavily retail. Now we're moving to more and more and more institutional involvement in buying, which is fantastic for us at BIGG Digital. We were also added to the BlockShares index in Europe, which is a crypto index, alongside huge names like NVIDIA and Samsung, and crypto miners like Hut 8, et cetera. And that has caused all the funds that follow that crypto index to buy our stock and have to buy our stock. And that'll be an ongoing process as they buy our stock to build their weighting to follow the fund. So again, we'll see continued institutional purchasing of BIGG Digital Assets due to these inclusions. And we expect with our success and our growth, we're going to see more of these, both index inclusions and fund inclusions over the next coming year in 2022. Here's the revenue curve. Dating back to pre-2019, the company had very little revenue. It was in an R&D phase of the company. And then in 2019, we got out there, started selling the products, both Clue for blockchain intelligence group that I'll walk you through, and the Netcoins trading platform, which started out as mainly sort of OTC over the counter without an online trading model at the time. 560,000, grew about 5x into 2020 as business really got going and the company matured and the products were out into the marketplace. And then this year, just through the first 3 quarters, we're showing 10.8 million. So, there's a 4x jump and only in the first 3 quarters of this year, and by the time we finish this quarter, we expect to see somewhere between $14 and $16 million in revenue, probably for 2021 overall. But, you can look at the curve, tremendous growth in the revenue of the business. We've actually found good product market fit for both of our underlying trading platforms and our forensics companies. And now it's about scaling. It's going to be all about adding marketing dollars and adding exposure and driving new customers into these platforms to drive revenue further. The team is always important. I won't spend too much time here, but you're investing in people. My background is all sales and marketing. I've actually been with Netcoins since 2018, the number 2 person there, and was the CEO of that since that time. And you can see the growth we've had in our business, which is really my specialty, which is finding product market fit for products, and then adding and scaling those businesses, adding marketing, adding money, scaling those businesses while maintaining essentially a formula where customer acquisition cost hopefully is less than lifetime value. And we'll talk about that today as well. Kim Evans is our CFO. Great cross-border experience for Kim with the US and Canadian listed companies in her background. We're going to be talking about some planned uplistings for our markets today. And Kim is the perfect person with the right experience to help us do that, and has done a tremendous job growing this business, from essentially an idea with some entrepreneurs with Lance and his partner, Sean, and myself on the Netcoins side to what it is today. Lance, entrepreneur, but blockchain expert and specialist. He helped envision what Blockchain Intelligence Group was going to be when it was just an idea with him and Sean. Now it's one of the main products used globally for looking at crypto crime and the movement and the tracking of crypto around the blockchain. So, we're fortunate to have an industry expert leading our business on that side. And then Kim Dwyer, who's fairly new actually to Netcoins, is the Chief Operating Officer, working with myself. And she comes from CIBC, her background, large banking, retail digital platform growth. That's what Kim does. And since she's come here a couple of months ago, she's done an absolutely amazing job of focusing Netcoins, making sure the operations and infrastructure are set up for our next phase of growth, which is going to be into 2022, both in Canada and as we launch in the United States. So I couldn't be happier about having, an industry veteran that knows how to bring users and eyeballs and consumers into digital products and grow them. Okay, so on the companies themselves, Netcoins, most people here probably have a pretty good idea what the platform is all about. Again, crypto trading platform, Canadian focused as of today. In the market, we really win on simplicity and ease of use, great user interface, something people can understand. We get a tremendous amount of our customers, by far the biggest number of customers that we have that are net new to the platform come in through referral. We continue to drive them in through traditional marketing, and then those customers become happy because they can use the platform, they can understand it, and then they refer in friends and family to the platform. We have great education. We have an education center, the Crypto Academy, and we have great support. We have both phone and email and live chat, and people can talk to our support team, and they're there, and it helps. In other competing platforms, we know for a fact you can send an email and wait a week or 2 weeks and get no response, and you might be stuck. With our team, we're there for our customers. That matters a lot to people because they have their money tied up in these platforms and they're doing trading. So we have lots of great advantages. One of the most recent and exciting ones is we actually received a restricted dealer license at the end of September from the CSA, which is a Canadian SEC. We're the first public company in Canada to get a license to run a legal crypto trading platform, namely Netcoins, in the market. That has a whole bunch of ramifications for us. It allows us to market where others can't. There's various TV networks, radio networks, internet networks like Google. It doesn't let you actually do advertising unless you have a license. And we're one of only a few in the country now that has this license. And it also lets us to stay operating. You're going to see things, if you haven't already, about large players leaving the Canadian market. I think Binance, who was told by the OSC they had to get out of Ontario and get out of Canada in general, has now announced they're leaving the country. You saw the same thing with BitMEX. We saw enforcement action with Poloniex. The regulators are basically saying, if you're not licensed, you're not going to operate here, which is what's shrinking the number of competitors in this space, while the market itself is actually growing. More and more people every day are joining the world of crypto and buying their first cryptocurrency and doing their first trading. And Netcoins, as a leader and a regulated platform, is there for them to use. Our growth this year and through last year has been phenomenal. You can see some of the numbers dating back to 2019, $250,000 in revenue, jumping essentially 6x the next year to 1.5, jumping at a similar ratio, even through just 3 quarters in Netcoins alone, at almost 10 million through Q1, 2, 3. Quarterly growth, every quarter has been tremendous year over year. In Q3, you can see numbers from 155 to 400% in transactions and revenue. And we've been built for scale. We've been building this platform to scale and grow as we grow since day one. That's been a big focus of ours, scalable web servers that can be spun up and added as we go. And of course, as a regulated, safe, secure environment for our trading customers. And as a public company, we still are the only, I think there's only 2 now, but for a long time, there's only 1 public company in Canada that ran a crypto trading platform. So we're also audited and transparent in financials, and everybody can see those as well. We have a real flywheel of marketing. We're in out of home, we're in print, where we have celebrity, endorsements in social, television, national radio network. And it's been working extremely well to be able to both talk about being, compliant and regulated brokerage service, and also the traditional, reasons to come work with us: ease of use, great platform, great support, no deposit fees, on our platform. Other platforms will take 1.5% of your money just to put it onto the platform. We don't believe that's a sustainable model. So we have a great product out there, and as we market it, they come to us. We're also got a whole bunch of new products coming to the market. Netcoins Pay is the one we're just launching now. The waitlist is open. We have a small number of people already using the product. I call it probably our test group. And we're about to open it up wider and wider as we go over the next little while here. So you can join at netcoins.ca/pay. And this is a Visa debit card. You have a balance inside of your Netcoins account and you can spend it. I've been using it. I also have it integrated into the Apple Pay on my phone, and everywhere I go, I can just tap my phone, buy products through the Netcoins card, and we give out crypto rewards. So we're doing basically a cash back, only it's a Bitcoin back to start with. So this is why it's exciting, is you can get rewarded in crypto, in Bitcoin specifically, for your purchases, and you can just hold on to it. You can keep it in your Netcoins account and watch it move with the price of Bitcoin. Hopefully Bitcoin price goes up and the value of rewards go up, but you can also sell it back into fiat if you don't want to keep it in crypto. So it's your choice, but it's a very unique and interesting product. We think it's fantastic for our customer base. Our wait list is getting really long. But we're hoping to start rolling through that wait list aggressively very soon. Even before Christmas, we're going to be adding more people off the wait list into the Netcoins card. On the other side, Blockchain Intelligence Group, crypto forensics business. This company's whole mission, unlike Netcoins, which is, to give you access to crypto, is to make it safe and secure and accountable, and make sure the ecosystem that backs it all keeps operating. And to that end, we've created two software products. One's called Clue, one's called BitRank. The one that really has market traction now is Clue. And what Clue does is, again, it tracks the movement of all crypto through all the blockchains that we support. And we actually support 8 main blockchains, and we're continuously adding them. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, BSV, Ripple, Stellar, Syscoin. More are coming soon. And on Ethereum, as I should say, we support all of the tokens built on ERC20, which is massive. It's like 300,000 tokens. And what we actually do, for those that don't know, is that you can log into the software. It's sold as a per seat license, essentially. So if you're in a police department and you have a subscription to Clue, an agent or an officer can log into Clue, put in a wallet address, and watch all the movement of crypto through that wallet. And specifically, where it's most interesting usually is from that wallet, and where does the crypto go. So a use case could be someone stole your crypto, you report it to the police. Let's just pretend it was Bitcoin. They can start by putting in your Bitcoin address into the software, and they can watch it move. The software will actually visually lay out all the different wallets and directions it's moved from. And the crypto might go around the world 3 times. And then it might end up in a wallet address XYZ. And normally, the blockchain is anonymous, and you wouldn't know anything about that wallet address or what to do with that wallet address. But what we've done is we've done attributions and risk scoring on these wallets. And there's about 3.5 billion attributions on wallets across all these blockchains, whether they're being risk scored, that we say they're high risk, or more specifically, we have an attribution that says that is actually a Coinbase hot wallet, or that's a Kraken warm wallet, or something like that, or it's a Tumbler. And that de-anonymization, that data that we add to the blockchain through our own collections, through our own artificial intelligence, et cetera, is where the value is. Because then when a police officer sees that those coins have ended up in a wallet address that we tell them is a Coinbase cold storage wallet, they can call up Coinbase and say, hey, we want you to freeze the coins in that wallet. Here's a subpoena. We believe they're proceeds of crime. They can ask Coinbase for who owns the wallet, and then they could issue a warrant. It could go to court. Clue has been used as expert evidence. Essentially, it's used by experts to show that we actually can prove factually that those coins have moved through all of these different wallets and ended up here, because the blockchain is a public ledger. You can't hide on it. And if we have attribution and we know the endpoints, it's without a doubt that those coins went through all those wallets. It is used for stopping crime in a wide range of areas, whether it is money laundering, child pornography, human trafficking, weapons purchases, fraud, any number of things that are bad that happen in the world, right down to simple theft. If crypto's involved, our tools, again, can be used for bringing the bad actors to justice, essentially. And we're not police department or law enforcement agents. We're providing the best software possible for these people to do their jobs. They had hundreds of years of tools developed for fiat currency, but only recently has there been tools for them available for cryptocurrency involved in crime. And we've taken a leadership space in that. And again, as there's more adoption and the use of crypto, there's going to be more need for our tools. We also offer training. We teach people how to do crypto crime investigations. You see a wide range of logos here, ranging from government agencies, SEC, banks, even universities have used us. Crypto exchanges have used us to learn how to actually research and understand the blockchain and do crime investigation. And what I love about this, it's an 8-hour online course. We charge for it, but it's not about the money. It's about showing them our products. We teach them how to use Clue during the training. So when they're done, then they say, okay, I'm going to go back to my office or my police department, whatever it is, and I need to do my job. Oh, I'm going to need a license for Clue. So not only do we provide tools, we provide training in the space, which acts as a paid marketing funnel. And by paid, I mean, we actually get paid for this marketing funnel. And then finally, you're thinking, so who else is in this space? And it's a very, very tight competitive space. There's only really 4 major companies in the world that do what Clue does, Clue being one of them. They're Chainalysis, CipherTrace, and Elliptic. There is some smaller players out there, but these are really the main ones. And the valuations on this technology, again, we have 3.5 billion data points inside of this software running across 8 blockchains. We've spent about 7 years building this and probably $25 million plus in investment into R&D. And the valuations reflect that. High barriers to entry, hard for anyone else to get in, again, because it's huge data products, very complex, and has to be shown to a customer in a very simple and easy way to use, even if they know nothing about blockchain itself. Chainalysis recently raised money at a $4 billion pre-money valuation, and CipherTrace was sold to MasterCard and maybe about 2 months ago. We believe between $250 and $500 million for that transaction. Clue is every bit the product that CipherTrace is, both from a tracking point of view, an engine that graphs it all and shows the customer the user interface, and from a data point of view. We've talked about this before, but Clue from a technology point of view alone has very significant value to BIGG Digital Assets. And we're excited about this year coming up because we're really going to start pushing on the marketing side and getting out there and making sure that the departments in the customer base that are just really getting budgets now in a significant way to do crypto investigations are going to use our tool. The 4 minority investments, I won't circle back into this too much, but because we already talked about them. The main reason for having these investments is twofold: financial gain. We've had tremendous returns on these companies from our investment. WonderFi being an example, where we started investing in a 25-cent seed round and they trade publicly for over $2 now. Liquid, same, already public, great return. Zen Ledger and TerraZero, we believe, will be going public. So those are also, our financial return is one part of it, but again, access to these teams, these networks, these investor groups, where we want BIGG to be, top of mind as well. And that's another reason we have made these investments, and we'll continue to look at more opportunities. Okay, so here's a bit of a new slide for, the long-term people that are following the story. What did we do in 2021? Where did we go? And, from a market cap point of view, the company grew from about 68 million at the end of last year, US dollars, to about 235 million. These numbers, of course, move around a bit every day, but that's the general theme of it. So, very significant appreciation in the value of BIGG Digital Assets, 3x plus in the value. The stock price was at 40 cents. Canadian a year ago. Now it's ranging in the $1.10 to $1.15. It's highly volatile. It's a new and emerging space, crypto in general, the crypto companies in it. We've seen the stock go all the way to $5. We saw it go back to about 83, 84, 85 cents, back up to $1.60, back to $1 again, back to $2 again. And then in this range at $1.10, $1.15 as of today. But if you zoom out and look at where we've gone, the company's gone up, 3x in general from now since the end of last year. And, as you continue to add value, we believe we'll continue to add market cap and we'll grow the stock price. The revenue, very significant growth. We already talked about that, from give or take 2.5 million last year to in the 14 to 16 million range this year. Year's not over. We'll see where it comes in, but we're projecting somewhere in that range. On our trading platform, we're approaching $1 billion worth of crypto traded this year at Netcoins. I don't know if we'll actually cross it by the end of the year, but we're getting very close. It's a very significant number in terms of what we've traded and showing the volumes we can handle. And we also believe we're going to see a very significant appreciation in that, of course, in the year to come, as we expand both geographically and expand products and expand even marketing inside the platform to encourage more trading and use for Netcoins. We became licensed. We left sort of the gray market where no one had a license and the government left everyone alone, but that didn't give confidence, we believe, to consumers in trading with any platform in particular, and there's risk. So we went through the work, the time, the energy, and we become a licensed crypto operating trading platform. Clue and BitRank, specifically Clue, but BitRank is built on the same product. We're up to 8 different blockchains, as I talked about now this year, from probably 4 at the start of the year, give or take. 300,000 ERC20 tokens built on the platform. We added KPMG as our auditor this year, which gives us, great bench strength going forward for continued investment acquisitions, and just doing the audits, which are complex for large crypto companies now. We made 4 great investments. We didn't have any of these investments last year that have been great for both our balance sheet, and also, again, our exposure: WonderFi, Liquid, Zen Ledger, and TerraZero. We grew our treasury significantly. We brought our Bitcoin up to over 500 Bitcoin. We had less than half of that at the start of the year. So we more than doubled our Bitcoin treasury. And we raised over $40 million in capital this year. Plus, at the end of the previous year, we raised, I think it was about 7 million right before in the November timeframe. So, we've accessed the capital markets. And we've been able to use that money, again, for our own benefit, for investments that have been profitable, for investments in Bitcoin, and adding into our floats for Netcoins that we've needed to have so we could grow that business. We talked about being added to the CoinShares Global Blockchain Index, 2 more ETFs. There's actually a whole bunch more ETFs we were added to besides Invesco, but there are a couple of the brand name ones that people would know. And, we've launched our Netcoins pay card now. So, those are just a few highlights. The company's come a tremendous distance in this year. If I look back to where we were at the start of the year on January 1st, so we're proud of that as a team, and we're going to continue to work hard into the next year. And what does the next year look like? A lot of people will know a lot of this stuff as we talked about it before, but we're going to be adding a lot more coins to the Netcoins platform. I just had a call with the BC Securities Commission today. As a regulated platform, when we make expansions and changes to our business model, we need approval on those, and we need to have reviewed infrastructure if we're going to change the way we use infrastructure for coins. And in order to have a lot of coin growth, we need to continue to evolve our infrastructure. So that's coming. We want to be one of the leaders in a variety of coins, and we're not there yet. And we're still doing fantastic, but we need to continue to add coins to be competitive, and that's going to be a big push in early 2022. Get our Netcoins pay card out with full access, so everybody who wants one can have one, because we have a wait list, and we're rolling that out in a nice, smooth way. Netcoins USA are coming. We got a number of things going on. Compliance program with our banking partner is just being finalized right now, and we're setting up our liquidity providers. We have to mirror some of our Canadian accounts with liquidity providers in the US, so we can keep the financials separate, the coins separate, the accounting separate, and then roll it all up to Netcoins globally at the end. But you have to run 2 separate operations. So we're very close on that, and we have some clarity. We have a long list of states that we're going to be easily able to enter right away, and some that'll take more time. At one end of the spectrum is New York with a BIT license. That will be one of the later states. A lot of crypto platforms don't even operate there yet because of the complexity. So that'll be further down the list, obviously, but we know where we can start, and California and Texas are probably 2 of the states we can launch in immediately. There's going to be a number of others as well, but I know people want to see names, and California and Texas are both about the size of Canada. Together, we can actually triple our entire addressable market from Canada just by adding California and Texas alone. So if you look at where Netcoins can go and the revenues can go, and we can take our same model and drop it into the states and then add as many states as quickly as possible, it's going to be a pretty exciting year. We're also on the Blockchain Intelligence Group, so BIGG with 1G, not to be confused with the parent company, the Blockchain Intelligence Group. We're going to be launching an aggressive US sales campaign this year, digital events, PR, primarily focused on mid-tier financial organizations and a lot around investigators and crypto investigators, but even just traditional investigators around any kind of crime. Crypto is finding its way into it more and more, and these guys need tools to do their jobs. So we're going to be going after them in a big way. The product has come a long way this year, both in terms of adding blockchains, adding data points, and now we're going to make sure that we really push on the revenue engine. Everybody's asking about uplisting. Absolutely in the plans for this year. TSX probably first. We're going through the application process right now, just getting all of our ducks in a line and working with our lawyers at BLG for that. And then probably NASDAQ will be second. It's easier, I think, for us to get the Canadian listing stood up first. And it's hard to do 2 uplistings simultaneously. So we're in process on the TSX, and then the NASDAQ will come. And then with strategic investments, we're going to continue to look at opportunities, both in investments themselves and maybe in any other digital assets that we think are going to have significant appreciation. We're heavily invested in Bitcoin because of our fundamental belief in the future value of that coin. But we'll look at other assets as well and other potential investments. So when I look at this and I stand back and say, okay, we got BIGG Digital Assets as a company. Here's what they've accomplished. No debt on the balance sheet, give or take $70 million in cash and crypto, a Bitcoin treasury, a scalable product that's entering new markets with a planned listing, uplisting in both the Canadian and US sides, new products coming. It gets me excited about where we're going with the future of this business for sure. And with that, I'll probably send it back to Victoria, who I think will dip into the Q&A, and we'll see what else we can answer here for everyone.
So we have a lot of questions, so I'm going to try to move through them as quickly as we can. So why don't we just start with Netcoins? So I know you chatted about your competitive advantages in Canada. However, when you move to the US, obviously it's a much more competitive market. So what are some of your strategies there with sales and marketing in order to, capture market share?
What I love about the United States is that it's a highly fragmented market. There's a lot of players and there's a lot of noise. And anytime you go into a fragmented market, you don't have to worry as much about necessarily competing head to head as getting your message out. And we've done a tremendous job in Canada of learning how to get our message out. We've been operating on national radio networks like Stingray, national television networks across, Rogers, Chorus, Bell Mobility, heavily on live sports where people are watching their screen. And then you see a Netcoins advertisement and they pull up their phone on the couch and start, signing up. So what I know is when we go into the US and we launch in California and we launch in Texas, we can be on radio networks in those markets. We can be on television networks. We can have social media influencers that have audiences in those markets. And when people see Netcoins, they will go check it out. And then what they will love is the simplicity and ease of use of the platform, the support of the platform, and they will stay. And we might be their very first crypto purchase or platform, but we might also be their, second or third platform that they trade on. Nothing is stopping people from trading on multiple platforms. And what they're going to see with the platform is something that they like to use, that they can understand. And that will drive revenue in those markets, no matter whether there's 20 or 50 or 100 other, competitors in the space. So we'll do what we do well, and we'll go into a fragmented market and get our message out.
Any plans looking further than the US now and expanding internationally?
Yeah, we'd love to. It's just a question. I mean, you saw a lot of our growth numbers. They're pretty significant. It's hard to manage too many things at the same time. We definitely want to be in Europe. We've been looking at that market for a while, but, we made a strategic decision both from a time zone and currency and manageability point of view and banking relationship point of view to go to the US first. So that's where we'll start, and we'll evolve from there.
And then just to provide some metrics to investors, can you talk about your customer acquisition cost and how it compares to the lifetime value of your customer?
It varies by channel, whether you end up with TV or radio. We tend to look at it, or social or, search engine marketing on Google, you name it. But, blended mix, it can range from $50 to $100 to acquire a customer. And our lifetime value is rising continuously. At one point it was 300, then it was 400. I'm not sure exactly where it is now, but it's definitely higher than that. And it's because people come, use the platform, and they trade, and then they stay. And then they become a monthly active user and they trade every month. So their lifetime value continues to rise. So the cool part about being a fairly new business in a fairly new industry is that we don't know the full lifetime value yet because we haven't been here 10 years. So, but it continues to rise. It's very significantly higher than the customer acquisition cost. And, I learned from a famous venture capitalist young in my career, if you have a lifetime value that exceeds your customer acquisition cost, just keep adding money and growing and doing what you're doing.
And then in terms of marketing channels that you're using, do you have any plans for team gaming sponsorships or mobile app advertising?
Absolutely. So we're actually advertising in the App Store already in Canada, where Netcoins is available both in Android and App Stores. I love the team sponsorships and the stuff that you see, particularly in the US and the big markets. So we'll be looking at a wide range of things such as that. I think, we were already advertising directly on sports. We did do some individual athletic endorsements Last year, both with Andre DeGrasse, who was, Canadian sprinter. We had, assistant captain of the Montreal Canadiens, Brendan Gallagher, et cetera. But, once we're in the US, I think it'll be an opportunity to get onto some more broad networks and teams potentially, or even leagues. So yes, we love that opportunity.
And then can you describe what an average customer looks like in terms of trading and using your platform?
Absolutely. So the average customer is trading, between $50 and $5,000, typically, maybe $10,000. There's certainly guys out there and customers that are moving $50,000 and $100,000 around in trades. But that's not a typical customer. That's more of a higher end customer. Or when we have institutions as well. I believe I saw a number just the other day that shows, the average trade value is in the $2,500 range. So it's getting those people to make more and more and more $2,500 trades on average. But that's typically what they look like.
And then with the market in Canada looking so fragmented and only a few players getting regulation at this point, would Netcoins look to acquire some of the other platforms?
Yeah, definitely. The trick is we want to make sure we're not overpaying, right? So the market can get frothy, but also, to buy something, you want to see if it has some technology that's potentially of value to you, not just a customer base. Otherwise, we can look at it and say, hey, if we spent, I don't know, make up a number, $10 million on that company, what if we did $10 million worth of marketing? Could we actually acquire more customers than we'd get by buying that company? So our goal is to grow share of trading volume. Ultimately, we want to have the largest share of the trading volume in the country that we can have. And whether that is the most economical way to do that is through straight up, marketing and advertising and customer attraction strategies, or acquisition, we'll have to make that analysis on a case-by-case basis. But, we're definitely looking at other platforms, especially ones that are, potentially going to shut down because they can't make the regulatory jump.
You spoke about, adding new infrastructure for Netcoins in order to add more tokens in the new year. So once you get that in place, what should the pace of new coin additions look like?
Well, it should be fast. I mean, I would like to see us add, 10 coins in a month, that sort of pace, right? So it's not, and we're not talking 1 or 2 on a monthly basis. We should be at the point where we can add, 5 and 10, either at a time or certainly in a month if we want to spread them out. But there should be very significant growth in coins. And, we have to make sure coins aren't considered securities. There's tests that we have to do, and we have to show the regulators that we've done these tests to prove that these coins, in our estimation, and to stay on the regulatory side, are not securities, but are actually act more like commodities or other features that are not securities. But with that, that's pretty quick to actually write up and have approved. But mainly once the infrastructure changes are approved, we're able to go quick.
And then this is a question that I actually get all the time. And I think there's a bit of a misperception out there in terms of, Voyager coming into the Canadian market in their current form and what they'll actually be able to look like. And so just asking, what would a threat of Voyager coming into the Canadian market look like for you guys?
Well, a couple of things on that. So to start with, I mean, there's 6 or 7 great exchanges in Canada already. We're not the only one. We know that it's a competitive space already. So it's not like there's 2 of us and then suddenly a third large player would show up. So, they'd come in and they'd have to fight it out for market share and brand awareness, because outside of the investment community, no one knows who Voyager is in Canada, right? They're a stock that's known in Canada, but not a brand from a trading point of view. So they'd have to start where other people have to start. The second part of the answer is they'd have to change very significantly to operate the way they operate now in the States. In Canada, they carry a ton of coins that the regulators would make them drop because they would be considered either securities, or they don't have proper storage, like cold or warm storage facilities for those coins that would be insured. There's a lot of requirements. They offer things like yield. The Canadian regulators have not approved yield yet. The other part is they have counterparty risk, and to create that yield, they lend out coins to counterparties that, again, you couldn't do with customer assets in Canada. So doesn't mean they won't come, doesn't mean they won't be a competitor here, but they'd have to change a lot to operate here as a regulated platform. And then they'd have to fight out just like everyone else for customers and brand awareness.
And then any update you can provide on the hiring process for a new Netcoins CEO?
Yeah, we're out there looking. We don't have a candidate yet. The great news is, I want to get a really good person. We're not in a super rush because, I've been with Netcoins since it was born, and have no problem operating and growing the business. And I have my finger very much on the pulse. And we have Kim Dwyer, who's an amazing COO and operator of the business. We find the right person, we'll put them in place. And in the meantime, I'm just going to keep carrying on and growing this business as we always have.
Okay. So the next question is regards to Clue. So, you talk about the competitors there and some of the valuations that they're getting, and it seems like there's so much embedded value in Clue that isn't being recognized. So would you guys ever look to, spin this asset out, sell it? Any kind of comments you can provide on that?
Yeah, we're not intending to purposely sell it or spin it out at this time. We think we have a big plan for growing the revenue base of that company in this coming year in 2022. And of course, as the revenue base grows, then at least from probably an investor side, the valuation that we get for it will grow. On a sale, it has a certain valuation as well, which I think is actually higher than we're probably getting credit for today. But if we have a significant revenue stream attached to it, plus the technology value that's already there intrinsically, it's going to be worth even more, and it'll give us more optionality on the business as well as the revenue grows. So our plan right now is, aggressively grow that business, grow the revenue stream of that business, grow the brand awareness of that business internationally, not just in the States, but internationally, because this is truly a global market. So the best thing we can do, I think, right now is just keep pushing to grow the revenue stream attached to that business. And if offers come, they come. We'll certainly consider them seriously, and that'll be our fiduciary duty. And if someone knocks on our door, and because I'm sure that's exactly what happened to CipherTrace, then they had to look at it seriously, and so would we. But for now, it's grow the business.
And then do you guys know of any other ETFs that plan to index BIGG in 2022?
I don't know of any by name because they usually don't tell you until they have made a decision when they do their own independent analysis, and they call up and say, hey, we're adding you, or we just added you. And all I know is that, again, as we continue to grow market cap like we have over the last year, as we've shown, we'll get added to more and more ETFs, because if they're going to have a crypto ETF, they'll need to have the major names in it, and we're one of them. The other thing is there's a lot more crypto ETFs being born all the time because it becomes more of a major component of the financial industry. Companies selling mutual funds will have to have crypto and blockchain ETFs, and so they're going to keep creating them for their own competitive advantage to sell to the market, and we should be included.
How active in investing in additional minority investments do you think you guys are going to be in 2022?
It's hard to say. It's one of those things where deal flow comes across your desk at irregular times, right? You might go 6 months and not see anything that's interesting, or nothing might come across your desk. And then 2 great deals might come across your desk where they say, hey, we're looking for investment. And we look at it and we see that they have a great team and a great product, or a great product potential. And we decide to jump in. So I think the best answer to that is, where we see good opportunities, we will invest. And if it's quiet, we're not going to just throw our money at anything, because we've been selective and we've been smart about what we've invested in.
And then any comments on the Bank of England issuing a cryptocurrency warning yesterday, and then maybe just your thoughts on the price of Bitcoin moving forward?
Banks around the world love to issue opinions, and they've been doing it for years and years and years. And traditionally, banks or central banks don't love crypto, right? It's a threat to their own way of operating and their own centralized banking system. So they tend to never come out and say, we think, crypto is going to go to the moon, or prices are going to go up. So I'm not too fussed about, the Bank of England or any other central bank offering their opinions. I fundamentally believe that the financial system is changing. You are going to see crypto become more and more part of the mainstream fabric of the financial system. You're seeing crypto credit cards and debit cards like we're launching. You're seeing PayPal integrate them. You're seeing, even just watching MasterCard buy CipherTrace, you see that they know that crypto is running through their rails at an accelerating rate, and they want to understand it. So I think there's going to be more and more adoption, and the Bitcoin, the supply is limited by an algorithm. There's only ever going to be 21 million. And if I even look around at my own network, friends, family, more and more people are stepping into crypto, and institutions in a big way. So price will go up. It's going to have volatility, lots of it in the short term. But I think we're going to continue to see a rise in the prices. And, I think we're going to see $100,000 US price for Bitcoin at some point during 2022. I thought it could even be, in Q1. It still could be in Q1. The volatility is impressive in Bitcoin, but over the longer term, I fully expect we're going to continue to see price escalation.
Anything that worries you moving into 2022?
The pandemic worries me, but it doesn't worry me professionally. There's in the system that we're in, the governments are going to keep printing money. The more they print money, the more there's inflation, the more crypto has general value, the more people trade it. That makes us money. The more mainstream it becomes, the more our products are needed on the blockchain intelligence group side. Execution is something I guess I have to think about a lot in people, right? We need to make sure we get the right people into the company. We keep executing and delivering. So that's what we're working hard to do.
And then I know you're pressed for time, so this is going to be the last question, and then I'll end it here. But you talked about all of your catalysts that you have upcoming next year. So what are you most excited about?
I'm most excited about adding a lot more coins to Netcoins because more coins equal more revenue. And then, sort of a close second or maybe right beside it is the US expansion. Having a lot more eyeballs and customers available to us, we can do what we're good at, which is attracting them into the platform. So, if we have more things to sell people and more people to sell it to, that's going to give us potentially the biggest revenue boosts over the year, which will translate into value, market cap value, stock price value. So those things are getting me pretty fired up right now.
Okay, well, like always, we appreciate your time. If you had a question and I didn't get it answered, you can email me directly and we can get it answered offline, Victoria@adcap.ca. I hope that everyone has a great holiday. Mark, I hope that you have a great holiday, and 2022 sounds very exciting. So we'll continue to watch the story.
Thanks very much, Victoria. And I'd just like to say, thanks to all of our stakeholders, our employees, our investors, everybody that's been along on this ride with us. And we look forward to an exciting 2022.
Okay, thanks everyone.